Did you notice that Luigi suffers from a serious mental disorder? Do you know the sad truth behind Donkey Kong? And do you know why Peach really fell in love with Mario? Well, my friends, these are the things only adults noticed in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Luigi suffers from anxiety throughout the entire movie. Luigi is very fearful, and you could even say cowardly. For kids, this is just funny, but if you actually pay attention to Luigi's behavior, you start to realize that he's dealing with anxiety. He's always nervous and he's rarely confident in himself. It feels like the only thing he thinks about is the worst possible outcome. And if you connect this with what we saw in the family scene, it makes a lot of sense. Mario's toxic family didn't just make Mario insecure, it could have affected Luigi too, to the point where his mind only sees the worst in everything. And let me tell you this, Luigi is a clear representation of anxiety. The way he acts, the way he faces situations, it's exactly what an anxious person goes through. After realizing this, if you go back and watch the scenes where Luigi appears, his behavior doesn't feel normal at all. You can tell he's hiding something in his thoughts. If you've ever struggled with anxiety, you'll understand Luigi on a whole different level. Bowser is a stalker. A very disturbing detail that only adults noticed is that Bowser isn't actually in love with Peach. He's completely obsessed with her and frustrated. From the very beginning, everything revolves around Peach. He doesn't really care about power. He just wants Peach to accept him as her husband. That's it. He insists on it every chance he gets. Now, imagine this in real life. It'll be terrifying. Imagine running into someone over and over again, someone who forces their way into your life, someone who does cruel things just to keep you by their side. Yeah, that stops being funny real quick. That's not love, that's a stalker. Once you understand this, you realize something else. The piano song Bowser sings about Peach isn't romantic. It's basically the song of an obsessive psychopath who's willing to do anything to be with that person. That's actually really dark. For some people, Bowser's behavior is just ridiculous. But in real life, actions like this could end in the worst possible way. Just think about this. You can compare Bowser's behavior to the song Every Breath You Take by the Police. A lot of people say that this song is actually pretty disturbing. It sounds like it was written by a stalker. And yeah, that's creepy. In the end, this is a detail that only adults could really notice. Peach fell in love with Mario because she had no other options. In the games, we were never told how the worlds in Mario actually worked. We just showed up, collected stars, defeated Bowser, and saved the princess. And of course, at the end, Mario was rewarded with a kiss on the nose from Peach. But the movie changes all of that. It implies that ever since she was a child, Peach had never interacted with another kid, not even a man. And when you're an adult, you understand this a lot more than when you're a kid. And if you think about it, Peach is a high-value woman. So for her to just fall in love with a short plumber, it almost feels like a fantasy. But with what the movie shows us, it becomes pretty clear. Peach didn't fall for Mario because she was genuinely attracted to him. She fell for him because he was her only option. Now, some of you might be thinking, then why didn't she fall for Luigi? If you compare them, Mario is much more brave, more mature, but most importantly, he's the one she spent the most time with. This could be the exact same case for Luigi with Princess Daisy, which honestly sounds pretty sad, but it's a reality that only adults really understand. Cranky Kong is a bad father. From the very first moment he appears, his attitude towards his son, Donkey Kong, is cold and distant. He doesn't seem like a proud father at all. Not even when Donkey Kong does something impressive. He just looks at him like it's nothing. So then you might ask, does that make him a bad father? Well, the truth is, his actions caused deep trauma in Donkey Kong, because he never shows he's impressed and never praises Donkey Kong for his achievements. Donkey Kong starts acting in an exaggerated way just to get his attention. His father is so demanding and strict that he's basically destroying Donkey Kong from the inside, and this explains a lot. It explains why Donkey Kong is so over the top and arrogant when we first see him fighting Mario. He's not doing it to impress everyone, he's doing it to earn his father's approval. That's why, after being defeated by Mario, Donkey Kong hates him in a way that, for many people, doesn't make sense. Because now, Mario and Peach have all the attention. And this detail was so subtle in the movie that most people didn't even notice it. Only adults who have gone through something similar. The family dinner scene. At first glance, the dinner scene with Mario seems normal. It's even funny for kids. But what only adults noticed is that this isn't just a simple family gathering. It's basically a harsh judgment against Mario. If you really listened to everything they say to him, it's all mockery and criticism. Nothing they say is actually helpful or positive. It feels like they just want to humiliate him. Not even his own father believes Mario will achieve anything in life. And the worst part is, Mario just takes it. Like, he's already used to being mocked every single day. So, with this scene, the movie shows us something very clear. Mario's family's environment is extremely toxic, and sadly, Mario sees it as normal. He has no support from anyone, except his brother Luigi. But at the same time, very real. And it's something only adults truly understand. Mario's business. At the beginning of the movie, we see that Mario wants to start a business with his brother to become the best plumbers in the city. It's basically the only thing they know how to do. But unfortunately, their business fails. It doesn't matter how much effort they put into it, or how hard they try to get people to give them a chance. And if you've ever tried to start a business in real life, there's a high chance you've also failed. For kids, this just looks like part of Mario's story. That's it. But for adults who have gone through this scene hits much deeper. In real life, very few businesses actually succeed, and that's something a kid won't understand. It's a message that's raw and brutally honest. So then, only adults really caught it. References and hidden details only adults noticed. The commercial they used to promote their plumbing business is styled like old ads from the 80s and 90s. This from the same era when we first saw The Plumber. And it's not just the commercials or the music. There are also multiple references to games from that time. Do you remember Duck Hunt? Probably not, but your dad might. Back then, it was something unique. You could connect a plastic gun to your Nintendo, and when you fired, it'll show up on the screen. It was something new, and it left a mark on a lot of people. And inside the movie, there are several references to this game. The dog owned by the rich woman at the beginning is based on one of the early designs from the Duck Hunt dog. And besides seeing the dog in one of the frames inside the pizzeria, you can also spot one of the ducks from the game. Another game that appears in the movie is a 1987 title, Kid Icarus. Mario is seen playing it after feeling exhausted with everything, and that's not a coincidence, because instead of showing a game over screen, it shows the text, "I'm finished," which reflects how drained Mario feels. Like nothing in his life is going right. So, in the end, do you know any other references that only adults noticed? Leave your answers in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.